Morning, folks. It's a beautiful morning. Sun's just coming up. Thought I'd get out here before all the leaf blowers and the brush fires were lit this morning. So it's pretty nice. It's only about 45 degrees out. Nice and brisk. And I've got my stock sway bar painted, which you saw previous there that I did 2 days ago. Isn't she a beauty? There's the stock sway bar. I got it all painted up nice. I did a layer of the Rust-Oleum heavy rust primer, which is that red oxide I used to use back in the day, and then went over it with a couple coats of the satin black Rust-Oleum as well. It's actually paint and primer, so I probably didn't need the Rust-Oleum heavy rust primer, but anytime I got any bit of rust on anything, I always use that first, even if the paint has primer in it. Of course, rattle can, because I've always had really good luck with that Rust-Oleum heavy rust primer. It lays down a good base, and your top coat goes right over it real nice. Lays down, it bonds to it, and that heavy rust primer's probably got fish oil in it to keep whatever kind of small scaly rust and even some heavier rust from, at least needed that horn from the buddy pulling up. So yep, that's the finished product there, and I'm gonna wait a couple days to see if I need to put that back on. And then there's the Zerk fitting that broke off, and I'm gonna be putting it back on just because I want to see. I'm curious what the bounce is on the stock one compared to this one. And I don't know if I can get this on camera or not, but maybe this is by design, but I'm not sure, because not everything stock is great and not everything aftermarket is great. But the angle on the sway bar end link is forward about, I don't know, 10 degrees. And you can see the mount point up there is also, if I hold the camera straight, you can see is, it's at an angle as well, and that's what's putting that end link at an angle. Well, the stock one, it's flat. It's like parallel to the ground. This one is not parallel to the ground, which, as you saw when I did the bounce test, if you watched the first video, I'll put a link to it, right up there somewhere. And it wants to push the bar forward as opposed to pushing it up, which puts spring pressure on the chassis to help with the of course with the sway, or the anti-sway, because it's a sway or an anti-sway bar. So this morning I'm going to take it off real quick, and I'm going to put my stock one back on, and then I'll do the bounce test with the camera on, and then we'll all be able to decide what, if this is acceptable, or maybe it's some type of engineering magic that I'm not aware of. But we're all going to find out here very shortly. One thing I wanted to point out, and I show you you can see right there when I was messing with this, you can see that probably should have my light on. I broke off the Zerk fitting. It's like, and I've read comments on the aftermarket ones online that they break off or they come loose. All right, well, as compared to yesterday, because I knew which tools to use, I had them ready, and a little experience goes a long ways. It only took me 10 minutes to get that aftermarket one out. So I want to show you the differences, which I didn't do when I had the wrapper on the new one, and I think I had the new one on top of the stock bar. So I mean, they appear very close, you know, when you just take a look at them. But you can see, like I was mentioning, if they this bend here, and actually the factory one could have been a little bit further back, but the aftermarket one is even longer, and that you can see that puts the bar as the bend is a little bit off too, because it puts the bar this way. And had they made the bend back here and come this way with it, it would have put the eye where it needed to be, more where the factory was, to keep the end link straight up and down. And as well, you can see where I got frustrated because the factory bolts didn't fit through the C-clamps, and I had to drill out the clamps to get the bolts to fit through. And then when they're laying on top of each other like this, here's the neoprene grommet that they supplied, and it's got that, you know, top the part for that's supposed to fit down into the sway bar, and then a flat side where the washer goes. Well, you can see the factory one has a much wider hole which will fit this, and it's also recessed, and this fits nicely right in there. Will compress and not allow the sway bar to move around, slide around. This bushing is going to stay seated. On the aftermarket one, the Belltech, the hole isn't big enough, and it's also not recessed, so you can see where it had pinched and kind of broken the mount already. I'm going to reuse it, but right there it's already kind of half split, because this doesn't fit in there, and it just kind of moves around, slides around. I suppose since part of this did get pinched in there, it would help it, but it may break off if you go into a hard turn and you do put a lot of pressure on these over and over. That piece on top would probably shear off, and then this thing would probably be moving around. So this actually needed to be recessed like the stock, and the hole needs to match the size of the hardware that they sent. So that was one of the things. And also here you're able to see, let's see, what's the best, I think maybe it was from this angle. So from this angle you can see the OEM bar curves down and is flat perpendicular to the, you know, as it's laying, like either mounted to the frame, or here I got it just sitting flat on the concrete. You can see that its mount point actually curves down and is flat, and this one is angled. The aftermarket mount is angled about, I don't know, it's somewhere between 5 and 10 degrees. I don't have a protractor or something like that to actually measure it, but you can see the bar actually goes up, whereas the factory one curves down, and that's, I believe, what's causing most of that energy to be pushed forward instead of pushing down and twisting the bar, putting pressure on the other side of the truck. So I wanted to show that, and those differences, as well as you can see the bar, how it's longer, and why it comes so close to the frame. So just a few simple adjustments to the aftermarket in the manufacturing process would probably make this a really nice piece. Let me get back to installing my factory one here. I've got it all painted up nice and shiny, and that's going to give it at least I don't know, probably 50 more pounds of force. It was slightly rusty, so can't hurt any, but I want to get this done so I can enjoy the rest of the day, because it is a beautiful day, Saturday morning. And yeah, so let me get to doing this. I think that was all I wanted to mention. I'm going to put some silicone up into that hole here in a minute, and then I'm going to put this thing back together. Another project is, supposedly when this truck was bought new, this was I will suppose it was supposed to be a Mopar cold air intake, so why they decided to ram the filter into the PCM there, I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hack this off and then twist this bend so the bend goes forward, and then re-weld it. That'll be another video. That ought to be a good time. So yeah, let me get to doing this. I appreciate you guys following along on this. I hope it helps if you're thinking about, even if you're just thinking about buying some type of aftermarket sway bar for your vehicle, that you take a real good look at it and take a good look at your mounting hardware before you get started, to make sure it goes a little smoother than it did for me, and then also to make sure that what you're putting on is actually better than what you're taking off. And I'm going to do the right thing and not replace them today. I'm just going to shove some silicone up in the hole because they're still in good shape. I've got some other ones on order. Supposedly the Moog ones online, we'll see when they come in. They after so many folks mentioning it to the manufacturer, I think they relocated the Zerk fitting. They put it on the top. They put the Zerk fitting up here so it doesn't interfere with the control arm. So let me get started on that this morning. I'm going to get it off. I'm not going to videotape it because you've already seen the painful first video where I took it off. Maybe a smarter person might put the truck on jack stands and maybe take the tires off so they can get to that bolt easier up top there. But I'm not doing that because it takes me about 30-45 minutes, and I have to put the truck in a different spot rather than right here where it's its own little kind of ramp. So I got enough room. I'm gonna get this done, and then I'll do the bounce test, and then we'll all know for sure. And maybe I'll repurpose this sway bar. Maybe I'll repurpose it for my Plymouth. So what I was thinking, even if I were going to try and use this again on the Dodge, if I were to take like a 100-ton press or a whatever ton press and kink this right here where it bent this part of the sway bar up more, it would put it more into this area of the frame where it's supposed to be, and it would also change the angle, the approach angle of where it meets the sway bar end link, and that might even be enough to make it much more effective. So I don't know, I might try that. We'll see if time permits. So let me get started with this, and then I'll start back up when I get to the bounce test portion. All right, folks, I got the stock one back in, and I've got my Forma plug 2000 here, which is the old trusty. I can't see the hole, so I'm going to put my light on it, and here's where I broke off the Zerk fitting. Looks like I could put a new one on there if I had a straight one, but you know what, I don't really care at this point. I got new ones coming, so if I can get some stuff to actually come out of the tube. I'm just going to try and plug the hole. I don't even think it really matters, but we'll try not to do the right thing and just make a complete mess of everything. That's good enough, don't you think? I felt like it went in the hole. It's kind of in there. Okay, so one thing that I did discover, which was to my surprise, but now that I've got goop all over my hands, the stock bar, the angle is just about the same. Maybe not quite as severe, but almost the same as the Belltech that I took off. You can kind of see up there the end link is kind of tilted towards the center of the truck. I'm sorry, tilted towards the front of the truck. So I'm going to do the bounce test. I'm going to come on this side here, and while I'm getting goop all over my camera, as you can see right in there, I've got about, whereas the Beltech it was maybe 1/4 of an inch, the stock bar is about, I don't know, about 5/8 of an inch from the frame, and the angle that it pinches down on the end link is flat and not curved towards the front of the truck. Those were the two main differences. You know, a stock bar, because it's pretty close down here, the stock bar actually could have been bent, you know, a little more, like right in here as well. You know, just because the stock folks put it all the way over here doesn't mean you know, that couldn't have been improved upon a little bit. It could have been bent an inch back and followed that gap in the frame a little better. So maybe they just didn't, I don't know. You know, how many people are going to buy one of these for these trucks? Probably very few, because there's very few of these left on the road. So it's probably not a huge issue for them. You can see over there, there's a nice big gap between the frame and the bar. And the bar, this bar is actually more straight up and down than the one on the other side of the truck, so that's kind of interesting as well. I don't know if my bar is kind of tweaked a little bit. The bushings fit nice into the stock bar, so I used those bushings, and I'm gonna leave those. So if anything, I got my bushings upgraded, and those end links have been on there for a while, but they're not sloppy, so I'm just gonna leave them on. I think I mentioned before that I have new ones on order, so I don't know. I'm going to do the bounce test here in 2 seconds, so I'm going to see if we're going to see if how the stock bar reacts based on the. I've got to get the silicone off my fingers. All right, let's set the camera up right angle here. Make sure my sound's still on. I'm trying to get to where I can see push the bar forward like the Belltech did. That's what my main goal is here. Okay, that looks good. So but up there, it doesn't feel like it wants to move as hard as the other one. The other one seemed like I was able to push down and a little more squashy. That was tough. Try it one more time. I don't want to dent my hood. Basically having to lay over the top of the fender in the hood. I don't know, call me crazy, but stock one feels stiffer than the Belltech, so I don't know. I'll review the footage and we'll see what happens. But that's going to be it for this. You know, if the Belltech looked, if the stock didn't do any better than the Belltech on the bounce test, as far as it pushing the bar forward, then then I take it all back and maybe it's good enough or maybe it's better. I won't be able to scientifically prove that because you have to drive the truck, maybe put some I don't know, some type of meters, what do they call those, G-force meters, and that would be expensive. So this is just something for people to look at in case they're thinking about doing any type of sway bar upgrade on their vehicles. And whew, I'm winded. That was pretty good compared to yesterday, or Thanksgiving actually. This is Saturday, so I'm gonna finish this up. I'm gonna punch this video out real quick, and so you guys can have part 2, and then I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the day. So once again, thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of it. Get out there, get started on your projects, and It doesn't cost anything to smash that like button and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Trying to grow the channel, so have a great day. Take care.